What's a very common thing that you just can't relate to? Restaurants that force their staff to act, sing, or engage in fake banter. Just make my food please and leave the theater to the thespians. To be fair though, some of them are probably actual thespians that need to be servers as a second job. There's this restaurant where I live called Casa Bonita where the staff will put on plays in the middle of the restaurant. It is actually really cool though. There are waterfalls, cliffs, secret passages, and a fight between a pirate and a gorilla to save a damsel in distress. Also, after your meal there are fake caves that you can explore in and treasure to try to find. As a kid it was a ton of fun to visit because of how engaging and entertaining it all was. Getting upset with people for things they are not in control of. Whispers. They are not in control. I have to be careful of this. I grew up in a family where my parents would be extremely angry at me and not tell me until one day they would blow up at me, or they would act very passive-aggressive and I had to figure out if they were angry or not. I learned to watch people really closely for signs they were mad at me or on their way to blowing up at me, ripping the rug out from under me when I least expect it. As an adult, it's a conscious effort to prevent myself from not taking the things other people do personally or not thinking that everything someone does is some sort of sign or personal attack. One time my ex got extremely mad at me because he was picking me up from the airport and my flight couldn't land for a while due to weather. I went to a Big Ten college. I swear everyone was having the time of their life but me. I couldn't wait to graduate. Me too. I couldn't afford a football ticket and didn't major in anything I couldn't have at a school closer to home. Oh well, smoking. Nearly everyone in my family and all my friends smoke. I remember growing up saying that I'd never try it and being told, "Yee, that's what everyone says." Well, it is true for me and I've never even been tempted. Hate it. It killed my parents and a great deal of others I know have debilitating side effects from years of it. I remember shoving a towel in the crack of my bedroom door growing up and cracking my window for fresh air as a kid. Being quiet late at night when your parents are asleep. My parents are deaf. Damn. What a life. Not being afraid of being heard. Well, not by your parents at least. It's about siblings. So many possibilities. Would you quit waving your arms? I have a headache. Porn on full blast for you whenever you want. No shame. What a life. Any other quirks from that? Seems like a relatively unique home life. I was staying at an Airbnb for a wedding and the groom's parents are deaf. Well, we were all drinking and at like 1 a.m. the mom starts banging on the piano cause she can't hear how loud it is and then you just hear a baby upstairs crying. Couldn't stop laughing. The advantage. Farting whenever you wish. The obsession with branded things. Clothes with the brand's name on them just look tacky for me. I'd much rather have a regular old graphic tee instead of a t-shirt with Guxai on the front in gigantic bold capital letters. It is pretty whatever most of the time, wear what you want and all that. But the obsession becomes incredibly annoying when people act like they were better than you because they spend several $100s on a single shirt. Those haute couture fashion houses have remarkable branding media teams behind them. They cultivate a sense of exclusivity and train the public to desire that. Often, though, the heavily branded items are actually not a fashion house. Best-made product materials and construction aren't superiorly better than any average store. They were mass-produced and made specifically for a certain audience, the ones who want to be seen wearing the logo, for the feeling of luxury and exclusivity while also promoting further free market aids. Most often they're more simple-looking garments, or basically the garments not ostentatiously covered in the brand's logo that are incredibly well-made and are the real expensive pieces. That's what I've learned from watching documentaries on the back end of the fashion industry. Fancy clothes for me are shirts that cost $30-$50, and I rarely buy them. I couldn't fathom getting a shirt that costs more than a sky coat. Running a brush through my hair. I have very curly hair, so only finger brush it when it is wet, which isn't often. Seeing people grab a brush and run it through their hair when they've been in the wind or just to freshen up. I wish I have to brush it in the shower because it is just too curly and thick to do anything with. My sister, whose hair like her father's and would never understand the struggle, grabbed a round hairbrush one day and thought it would be funny to put it in my hair. It got stuck and I just sat there and cried. Another time, when I was really young, my aunt, who was my father's whiter half-sister, decided to put little tiny buns all over. I literally bled because of it. As a man who went bald over 20 years ago, I can also relate. Sharing your whole intimate life on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, it is just gross. A coworker of mine posts no less than 3 hours worth of video onto his Snapchat daily. Every single meal he cooks and eats, every single time he feeds his turtles, every single walk he takes with his dog. It is insanity. I used to wonder what people were thinking, but social media has ruined that for me. I'm an office worker. I like my job and coworkers. I also really like it. I can listen to podcasts or watch TV shows while working, and I love the fixed schedules. Coming out of gastronomy work, that's haven. So you were the shoal. I kind of miss the random chit-chat and minor socialization here and there that came from being in an office. I'm one of the least social people out there, but still need some of it from time to time. Being cooped up at home has been a drag. I started a new job about 4 months ago and have never met any of these people in person. Same here. I work for a major corporation, make above average pay for what I do. My coworkers are great, benefits are great, my boss is super understanding. Best job I've ever had. Sometimes the work environment people is more satisfying than the actual work. Same, but I still find it weird. I get fulfillment out of my job like most of the people I work with, not so much the people I work against, and actually kinda miss previous office jobs in the same field, though not so much. Big expensive weddings. Best thing about 2020 for me is that we didn't have UPS 25 wedding, but instead had UPS 500 wedding with just us and our parents. Keeping up with the Jones. I don't give a shit how nice or shiny your things are or mine aren't. I'd rather have money in the bank than a new car every year. My car is 6 years old and works fine and still looks nice. Why would I trade it in just to keep up? Same with phones, clothes, computer, even stuff from my home itself. I like mine, and I get good quality stuff so it lasts. To trade it in for the sake of it would be silly and a waste of money. People complain about this all the time in Miami. People will be living in literal sheds in Mia and still feel the need to drive a BM. You'll walk by some of the shittiest looking apartments and there's a Hummer parked outside. Having dreams and aspirations. I never thought I'd get to be an adult, so I never had dreams. Thanks for the awards, guys. I've never gotten so many, so I appreciate all of you. 3/22. This year made me stop, and suddenly I started to question myself why I do what I do. Shit is scary, man. I don't know MacLeod. Thanks for the reply. Wish you the best this 2021. I never doubted that I'd live long enough to see adulthood, but I've never had any ambition or dreams or aspirations. I know people who knew what they wanted at the age of 14 and got there. I've tried forcing it or faking it to help affect change, to no avail. It is frustrating as hell and feeds my mental health issues or causes them. The thing is that for me 21, I don't really care to have any dreams or aspirations. Just set me in a room with some books and games and I'll be happy. People taking out loans for their wedding expenses. One of the #1 reasons people get a divorce is money. No better way to start off your marriage than in debt, I guess. That trope where the husband is a useless piece of lazy shit who couldn't possibly feed himself or care for the kids and house without your divine feminine guidance. It used to make me feel bad, like am I supposed to be running this shit by myself while my man just lies on the couch after work? But then I realized no, it's the trope that's shitty. It's everywhere though, and women think it's somehow cute or empowering to perpetuate it. As a husband and father, this trope pisses me off. I am extremely invested in my family and am more than capable of taking care of business. Yet when I'm out and about with my daughter, it is oh, must be mom's day off. Fuck off with that shit. It is not mom's day off. This is me being a regular ass responsible dad. That's my default, you lowbrow assuming piece of shit that apparently had shit for parents. Rant, small talk, go big or go home. How does this come easily to people? It is just incredibly hard for me, and I end up getting annoyed, thinking that being a dick is funny. People who think being in a shoal is funny, I think, just crave any attention they can get. I have an uncle who's in a shoal on the outside but deep down is really caring, but to me it just seems like he never learned how to express his emotions and feels he's protecting himself by being an ass, having a task to do and just doing it. I have depression and many simple tasks feel like walking with glass in my shoe. I know I can do them and should, but I often just can't. Edit. I'm really grateful for all the awards and upvotes and for people reaching out. I'm doing pretty well lately. For those that expresses concern, I'm especially encouraged that more than 5,000 people found this relatable in some way. It sucks that we've all struggled, but it's so great to be reminded that you aren't alone. You aren't some freak or failure. At least 5,000 other people have had the same struggle. Keep fighting, friends. We've got this. Same, I just can't get the energy to brush my teeth until mid-afternoon, let alone get anything productive done. Yes. The thing that I find so frustrating is that there will be these brief pockets of time where I can do things, and it is suddenly so easy, I don't even think about it. So the rest of the time, I'm painfully aware that I'm capable of doing this task if only my head were working right, but right then and there, I have this invisible wall that renders it's maddening, and I don't know how to fix it because whatever mechanism that renders me unable to act is somewhere outside my reach and beyond my comprehension. Your depression sounds like mine. For me, it is extreme apathy mixed with the loss of enjoying things and activities I used to love. The requirement of drama. I've met so many people who are always in the midst of some drama, and then, when lacking in it, create it for themselves. They thrive off it. I mean, at a push I can understand it to an extent. It gives their lives meaning, possibly. But then they try and drag people like myself into their drama. I think, the F not, as a former drama queen, I can say that I didn't want the drama, but unfortunately, I was perceiving everything around me as being dramatic, and most often than not, and since my mechanism to regulate my emotions was flawed, I was getting very worked up and caught up in emotional storms where I was lashing out, plotting revenge and so on. So embarrassing to look back at it all now. So embarrassing to look back at it. The person you were describing is my ex-friend Danielle, and this is one of the two main reasons I broke things off with her. The other was that she is a manipulative bitch. Fuck you, Danielle. Hating your wife. At least it's common where I live. My wife is amazing and we make each other better. Edit. Mandatory thank you for the awards. To answer some common questions. My wife and I have been married for nearly 5 years. We have hit the post-honeymoon phase, and we were both American. The old ball and chain. A mirror, wink, elbow, elbow, nudge, nudge. Everyone has a miserable marriage like mine. Right. Wait. It is common for people to hate my wife. What the fuck? Horrible guys. You know, have a rough day at the factory, come home, tuna casserole, and just start swinging. I remember when I got married how concerning it was that a crazy number of people say now you can be miserable like the rest of us, as a joke. It's such a terrible thing to say, especially to someone who got engaged. Think of the Addams family. Why were Morticia and Gomez weird to people? Because they were one of the few couples onto that didn't dislike each other in some way. I will never understand this. My wife and I are together all the damn time and love each other like crazy. This pandemic has been easy for us with her working from home now, and I hear about people who hate being home with their families and I just don't relate. I love having my wife home with me instead of being apart every day for 12 hours. When I was married to my ex, I remember he went on a long weekend trip once and these ladies at my work were like, oh, you can have so much fun with him gone. And I was like, what? No. I miss him when he is gone. Why marry someone you don't want to spend your time with and are glad to be rid of him? To someone sounds like hell to me. A break is one thing, but to be glad your spouse is gone and look forward to that. Sad to be the word daddy used sexually. I have been calling my father daddy for 30 years and even just calling him dad feels so weird. Now I really have to find a new name for him.
Like and subscribe for more Reddit content. Watch the next video at the top of your screen.